my favorite ones, women's basketball. And now,
Women's basketball. Women's basketball, man.
who would have thunk it, man? I never thought I would be saying that. After I thought would be the demise of the WNBA after a couple of years, but man, I'm talking exciting basketball this season, along with a couple of standout players and a couple of highly ranked teams. With we see South Carolina going undefeated so far this year. They had a couple of close calls, and my favorite coach Don Staley is rocking it, leading the way.
Hey, ISO Swisher World, I'm just letting you know, Mark is completely in love with Don Staley.
Definitely.
Period.
Definitely. I need to be coached. I need to be coached up, coach. Put me in the game, coach.
Put me in the game.
Put me in the game, man. This is just crazy.
South Carolina, man, they're just so deep. They got another starting five on the bench that would probably be ranked in the top 10.
Oh, clearly.
Took their bench and had a whole other team, they'd be top 10 in the country, right? They're fantastic. Defensively, I think they're ridiculous. And then Cardoza the big girl, she hasn't been playing that much because of her overseas commitments. But, when you have that whole team, man, they're just ridiculous, man. They're ridiculous.
And people like USC, have I don't think they started out the season being ranked in the top 25, and now they're number 7. So you can see the decline with Iowa kind of flip flopping from number 2 on down to number 4. It's just that's the way I think basketball should do. You don't have to win a game to necessarily bump up in the rankings. I mean, it's been pretty consistent throughout the year, and of course, come tournament time, that's where we see where they're placed in the country and how they do in their respective fields. And this is an indication of that right now. Yeah.
Right. The energy with the women's game right now is so high, man. I mean, there's so much drama. Gwen and I watched the LSU versus Alabama game. Oh man, it was just like the place is packed. LSU plays Tennessee today. So by the time everybody sees this, that game will be over. But it's like standing room only. Everybody wants to see Angel Reese and all these girls and Kim Mulkey. It's the energy with the NCAA women's basketball right now is incredible. I watched the highlights. I couldn't watch the real games. It came on too late. I watched the highlights of Colorado, who's ranked 11th versus USC. Juju Watkins. I'm going to repeat. Juju Watkins is unbelievable. She reminds me of the female Carmelo Anthony, and she is putting these chicks in her backpack, riding them. I mean, she's this girl is her pull-up game and her mid-range game. She always wants to go right, but she is to me, she's must-watch TV right now for me with basketball on any level, NBA, whatever, on any level.
Right, and the question with her is like, will she eventually break Caitlin Clark's record? Now, I highly doubt that because I don't think she's going to stay the full 4 years. But to watch her, man, she's just a freshman, of course, and she's literally almost pretty much unguardable. And that's the way Caitlin Clark is. And a lot of the athletes now are like that. And then they had Cheryl Miller was courtside there at the USC game cheering her on, and I'm sure that was a motivation for Juju Watkins to drop that 42. And just got to remember she's a freshman, man, and she's got a well-rounded. She's a generational player to me. Got a well-rounded game. That's just
I think that's the phrase, Mark. She is a generational player. Yeah. Juju Watkins is a generational player. Caitlin Clark is as well. I kind of put Caitlin Clark above everybody else right now in college basketball, individually. But like just right below her, I got Juju and just a host of other players. Angel Reese. I love Hidalgo, the point guard from Notre Dame. They kind of slipped a little bit in the rankings. Paige Beckers, who we've been talking about since she was
early high school. Yeah,
early high school.
She's coming back, by the way, which is a great thing for UConn.
Yeah. I'm glad she's gotten over her. I would love to see Fudd and that whole group play healthy, man. That Connecticut team healthy would be doing some damage right now.
They would be.
Injuries are part of the game.
Of course.
But I'm just so excited about the playoffs that are about to happen, the tournaments that are about to happen, for the individual conferences as well as the NCAA basketball tournament. I still think right now today, if I had to pick, of course, I think South Carolina is by far the best team. I think LSU is just a step behind them. When they did play, came down to the last minute or so. And then there's a few teams there, your UCLA's, your Colorado's, Ohio State, which is the only team in the probably top 15 that I haven't seen play yet. So I'm looking forward to checking them out. But yeah, man, it's women's basketball, man. Energy.
And it brings it, man. I mean, you can tell it's in the crowd, it's in the stands, and it's also for ESPN and for all the other networks. It's in the ratings, and that's a key factor for them to keep showing that basketball on TV. It's what women want. It's what men want. Cats like me, man. It's much like you said, it's must see TV for me.